Hey everyone, the book I chose for this assignment is the book called What Sank the World's Biggest Ship and Other Questions About the Titanic. And it is by Mary Kay Carson and illustrator is Mark Elliott. It is designed ages for kids ages 7 and up. Um, Pretty much anyone can read it from, you know, elementary to middle school and up. Um, the author, more about her, she is a nonfiction children's book author. Most of her books pertain to the subject of science, from what I read. She's written books about wildfire, space, weather, other topics in science. She has also written books about famous people in history, such as Martin Luther King, who invented the TV, the moon. Some of the awards that were listed when I was reading about her, she won. One of them was called the Astronaut Children's Literature Award. Um, My brother read this book, I believe, when he was like in sixth or seventh grade. And this weekend I went by and was reading the book and really intrigued by it. Fortunately, I left the book at my brother's house and I was unable to retrieve the book in time for this assignment, so I'm unable to show you illustrations of the book, but I'll try my best to describe them. Um, the book starts off a series of trivia questions and then answers them for you. So there's like 20 questions, I believe, with illustrations showing the Titanic before and after. It's pretty cool as you get to, see how the ship was made, how it was before this tragic accident, and then it shows you the after effect of the Titanic. Um, this book is an expository nonfiction. Um, it is nonfiction because, it did happen. Um, it's about historic events and it's informational too as well. That's why it fits in that category. The book, like I said, shows maps, a layout of, where the Titanic traveled and obviously where it sank at. So the reader got a sense of what really happened and where it happened. Um, 5 things that I learned about while reading this. Some informational facts. I learned that cheap rivets cost about 1,500 lives. Obviously, that's what happened to the Titanic. Uh, I learned like what happened to stranded passengers. They were out in the cold. Some of them died because how cold it was. It was freezing, especially in the water. I learned about the telegrapher on the Titanic. That they questioned if he was unsure about the message he sent about the iceberg before approaching it. I also learned that the propellers were as big and wide as houses. So if you think about it, pretty big. I also learned that the Titanic was the largest man-moving object. Um, like I said, I don't have the book, but the illustrations while reading this book, it was pretty cool. I got to see how the Titanic was made. It showed like paintings, it showed passengers, it showed like, the effects of it hitting the iceberg and the after effect. So as a reader, especially as a young reader, it kind of, attracts the reader and invites them to the book and almost if you were like there. And then also the trivia questions, helps you learn about what happened that night. Um, I would definitely recommend this book because a lot of people heard the Titanic, they've seen the movie, and this book answers the basic questions of what happened in the Titanic, why it happened, um, if anything could prevented the accident, and the illustrations and the maps and like just makes it really informational and makes people want to actually read it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.